Ladies and gentlemen, this is Journalist Anthony, CH Melchett, and right here we are turning into the second battle between the Bloodbath and the Bloodbath community. And this time the Russian team here led by Whiskey Jack is attacking, and this is gonna be a very interesting. I've slowed it down here because there is some things I want you to see. Normally when somebody plays, normally when people play Tula Outskirts, the normal procedure for pretty much everybody is to push the right hand flank and after that push into C from the side here. And in this gameplay here you're going to be seeing the allies led by Whiskey Jack totally manages to goof the German team, and I really want you to show you this move here, and I'm gonna speed it up here. So you're gonna be seeing the Germans totally stagnate and try to push out and hold C, while you have the entirety of the Russian team actually pushing the right hand flank here. The left hand flank attacking and the right hand flank defending, of course, actually being able to push up, and it's quite spectacular when you're gonna have this a look here and you see both recon planes up at the same time, and you see a really spectacular push from the Russian team here. And you're actually going to be seeing allied artillery. I think it's going to be coming in right now. It's going to be coming pretty hard and hitting straight behind Delta really effectively, managing to block off or kill a lot of the Germans. And this is a very interesting tactic we see here, and it totally manages to take the Germans off surprise. And what I want to show you here is the aggressiveness of the allied players. Have a look at this. Look how they push B straight off. You can see all these guys, Blood Malice, No Man, Dr. Jan, Ken Stannis, I think as well, Cat Mephisto. You know, look at this, guys. Look at these people. They're really going for it. This is quite spectacular. Let's speed it up here. So one thing that you have to notice that I want to show you in this game is the ability actually to slow things down and actually have a think about, hey, what do everybody expect us to do? Everybody probably in this expected the Germans, the Russians to go right, and they went left. That is pure genius. I really like this move. And one thing I want to show you here is, look at this now. They're actually able to push up this far and actually able to control this area. Pretty significant. And the one thing as well is, you see here, you still have Germans attacking B and A, and this is it's quite spectacular actually watching this. So now we're gonna be seeing, now the allies have to actually come for C, and you see here them pretty much respawning. It cost them pretty much all their life, and here we see a quite, you know, badly timed artillery strike here already on the lost point. Pretty much a panic move, and I think this comes down to that instead of the regular Bartella, the regular, as you see here, the regular TL that's apparently a squad leader now, I think it was, they changed to a new commander that probably don't have the experience here, because he manages to really, you know, no disrespect to anybody, but really fuck up. I just want to show you this thing right here. So look at this, what's gonna happen here. This is gonna be a glorious friendly nade that's gonna come in. But as I was saying, look at that. Oh, that was a German nade. But the allies decided, the Germans decided to switch to this guy. What the fuck? What was his name? As the commander. Oh, that Father Lemons guy. You know, that probably doesn't have the same experience, because he chose in panic mode, I think, actually drop a really bad artillery, and that artillery is surely missed at this point as they are attacking C. And you know, oh, there comes the friendly nade from Ivanka Trump. So unfortunately, you know, the Germans chose to switch up commander, and it's gonna be a concurring theme in this video, that some strange choices are gonna be made by the Germans as they're playing here, and that's gonna have its consequences. But here we see actually. We have Blue Hager, Lonely Rose, Smoke Prophet on here on on the left-hand side here, and this is one of the most important hills. This is one of the most important hills right here, because I want to go down here and actually show you guys if you control this left-hand hill while trying to attack Delta. And you guys pretty much know this, that this hill pretty much dominates. So if you can keep a squad leader alive back here, actually spawning people in, then it's going to be very advantageous for you. And I'm going to try and pop up here. This is a very difficult point to actually show you what is going on because of the amount of trees here, and there is no color coding on the names. But as you push in here, we can actually see that the allies are starting to try and push up and mark Chan here with the, you know, we're gonna have these suicide satchels. But you're gonna be seeing here the allies primarily focusing on this left-hand side, and you know, that might be a smart choice, but I sure would like to see the allies actually try and spread out their attack a bit more. And of course here we have about 3.5 minutes on the cooldown for the arty. So this here is something that is, you know, it is a bit a shame for the allies that they, you know, do not push up more on this. So a very important thing when you are attacking a map like this is take the advantage of the terrain. Of course, Baratheon here is putting down a lot of fire, but you know, they really need to actually try and get some pressure up along here, along the left-hand flank, and actually try and get in to the cap and actually, you know, get a handle on it. So we are going to be seeing, you know, the allies really struggle, and still here the allies aren't able to actually hold, you know, not able to push back. And Old Boy here is a squad leader for the Germans, and you know, he's managing to hold this side pretty much not contested. And you have the people with captured weapons here, or take no weapon. You can kind of see here the real nuisance this is gonna be, and it only takes one squad to push up. If they had one squad pushing up here and actually coming up behind, and here we see Whiskey Jack, of course, with his first arty coming in. And you really see that the fight is fomenting over here on the right hand side. It's really forming up, and this is going to be a close fought battle on this left hand side, mostly because the allies fail to take the advantage of actually spreading out and cluster like this, you know. And when you're not able to really push the enemy out of the cap, you know, and you only dominate one side, then we all know how difficult it is going to be. And the German artillery were only about, you know, 2 minutes after the Allies' artillery. So there is at some point here going to be counter arty, and it's going to be really painful for the Allies. But I chose to show you this map here because there is really something specifically that first move, you know, where they actually chose to push the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side, that really, you know, made it for me. And here you see, and we're gonna be speeding this up a bit here, and you actually see the Allies here still just holding the same area here and not able to actually push forward. And it's really a shame that the Allies are not able to do it. You see here the lack of you know, the willingness to actually push up in. You can actually see here that this is the cap zone. These people are in the cap zone, but it's really difficult for them to gain terrain. And I still think that has something to do with the ability or the lack of actually controlling the flank. And here comes the thing that I was talking about, the actual German artillery on this left-hand side here, dropping in, and this is a decent artillery mark. So this is going to be kind of difficult for the Allies to do anything about, and they're going to be stuck. But it looks like the artillery is actually, if I look at my map here, I'm just above the arty here. This artillery seems to be a bit out of place because looks like Gunnar Hill, Jan, and other people in Ivanka Trump are able to survive inside the cap zone. Oh, there it comes, the spread of the artillery. So yeah, it really seems like that, you know, that it could have been placed perhaps a bit more closely into the cap. And again here, we see that Melchett Nr.152, these guys are still able to actually, you know, without any contest, actually control this left-hand side and actually keep on trying to condense the allies in. And actually, you're going to be seeing aggressive players here. Lonely Rose saw this guy over here, and they are going to keep on trying to actually use hand grenades. Let's slow this or speed this up a bit. So what you're going to see here is, you're going to see, look at the allies. One thing, you know, is the lack of the allies to actually spread out, but also the lack of the Germans' ability to actually take advantage of this. Because you see here, Whiskey Jack, these guys are coming up, but the Germans are actually still allowing the allies. Look at this kind of formation. And actually here we're gonna see the allies' second attack, and this is a perfect mark by Whiskey Jack. I think this game is gonna be, you know, dictated by the commander's ability, and I actually think, without offending anyone, and this is not personal meant for anybody, but I think Whiskey Jack here is far a superior commander with a lot more experience of being the commander here, or at least that is what this shows me. That the ability or the failure of this guy Father Lemons to actually be able to put in the correct artillery is really weakening and hampering the German effort. The squad leaders are staying alive pretty well for the Germans, but it seems like they have a problem. And actually here we see one of my favorite things again. We actually see that the allies are really moving up. Look at this. They're really trying to push as hard as possible on this right-hand flank, the left-hand flank attacking. But Beskar is really, you know, putting down the hurt here, and managed to set up. And here we see indecision from the allies. Why would you lie down like this? Why not get a hand grenade out there and try and dislodge him or something like that? And that's you know, that's really a shame that the allies weren't able to actually push up there and actually get in. But well played by the Germans there, by Beskar actually able to recognize what is going on. And that's again one of the most important things, actually being able to recognize what is going on the flank. And here we see actually an interesting thing. You would have hoped that when Mr. Death is up here, you know, he's not known as a big communicator, I think, but it's a real failure of him to actually be able to push up all the way behind the line, but not actually being able to communicate to the team that he's up behind the line and that it's actually open for business, and actually being able to push in. And here you see that it's really manifesting itself that there is gonna be a problem. Right now, the right-hand side here is locked down. You normally see, because of this bunker formation down here, I'm going to show you guys, because of this bunker in here, you can see with the bunker in here and your ability to get into these holes here and actually start closing, getting into these firing ports, and of course the bunkers as well, and the failure of the allies to actually blow up the bunkers, it's going to be really difficult for the allies to actually push in there, and that's gonna be a hindrance for them. And you see here the allies massing up in the center, trying to push in. But one thing I want to show you here is actually how the allies are managing to actually deal with this. You're starting to see here that the allies recognize that there is a problem, and you actually see allied players starting to push to the right-hand flank. And I really want to show you this. Look at this. Again, they managed to doof the Germans, or not doof the Germans, but they managed to, look at this. You know, the allies push in force on this right-hand flank. I want to show you this. And then you suddenly have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the guys up here weren't there. So you suddenly have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the guys in the bunker. And then suddenly the allies managed to switch over. And here you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. You know, if you want to push it, you perhaps have 4 guys on the far left here. And look at this, all of a sudden, we have a total shift. And I want to talk about this, the ability of this allied team to make the decision that, hey, we are not seeing the progress we want to see on the left-hand flank, then suddenly take their momentum and switch it to the right-hand side. This is really, the hallmark of great leadership, that you're actually able to make a switch. And again here, you see the artillery dropping what you would describe the German artillery in the middle, kind of ineffective. Where is the recon? Where is the communication in the German team that all of a sudden, hey, we're actually getting pushed pretty hard on the right-hand flank, and where is that RT? Interesting thing here. I think that honestly, that the German team would have been better off with a commander with more ability to actually spot these things, and I think that's the most important thing. You see here, Whiskey Jack, they're actually able to push up here with massive smoke, and actually able to call this out and actually be able to get into this, and suddenly you have a lot of pressure on this right hand flank. I want to show you this. Look at this, how the allied players keep on streaming in, and actually they don't stop. You can see them down here. The lighter figures are the allied players. They're actually able to keep the pressure up, and you see here smoke are being deployed in the immediate right side here. And then you see it's going to be executed, it's going to be taken advantage of. And still, we have a failure to actually recognize this, or not a failure, but you see the Germans not able to actually recognize this, and that there is immense pressure on this left-hand side, and absolutely no pressure on the right-hand side. And we see here the Allies pushing in, but as you see here, the Allies are almost down by 100 tickets. And that's going to be dangerous for them. I'm going to speed it up here a bit, so we can see that the Allies players keep pushing in. Look at this. They just continuously keep pushing in. So here, the Allied players, Whiskey Jack keeps on deploying smoke. And I, if you want to actually watch this game here from the German perspective, there is, I know Prager has made a commentary from his perspective in the game, and you see here that his squad is not totally satisfied with the German leadership during this game here. And this is not an insult to anybody. It's just a kind of I'm just analyzing on the material I have here and seeing what is actually happening. And we continue to see the Allies keep on having a precious presence in the cap zone here, although that they're slowly moving in and slowly trying to clear out these the areas in here. You see Dr. Futsucks really, they're trying to really clear out with submachine guns here. And we're just gonna speed up here, and it's really gonna be a costly affair for the Allies here. But you see constantly the Allies having their squad leaders spawn people in on the flank, and actually people being able to push in, and actually, of course we're gonna have these kind of bends here where we're gonna have immense combat here, where it's actually, it is really dangerous for the Allies because of the loss in tickets. But you still see them constantly trying to push this, and actually continuously having luck with actually infiltrating on this on the attacker's right hand side, the defender's left hand side. I would like to see from the Allies a more determined push on this right hand side from we still have a lot of guys in this forest part actually doing nothing. But we're just gonna speed this up a bit here, so you can see that the Allies keep on piling in. They keep on managing to actually control. Why the Germans are not, Ask for Trouble is doing it here, but why the Germans are not pushing more up on this right-hand flank, like Ask for Trouble, pushing up and actually getting in. And here you see this presence in here. This is gonna be really, really, really determining what's gonna happen. And here we're gonna come into one of the most interesting, why I chose this battle and not that many other of the battles. You are going to be seeing here the Allies have to push this. And again here, one thing that's going to be interesting with the Germans here is how they're going to choose to defend this. When you're watching the German replay, you can kind of see that, you know, they decide to kind of fall back here and actually set up defenses in A, instead of keeping the pressure up at the Allies. If the Germans would have significant amount of players close to these trench outlets, they would have been able to actually, you know, I think, contain the Allies a lot better. Because here you're going to be seeing the Germans, as they die up here, actually start to pull back, instead of keeping the pressure up on the Allies in front of the point here. And yeah, you see the Allies here really trying to push up, and we're just gonna speed up here. And why the Germans chose, I'm not sure why suddenly the order is given to hold behind here. Why would you choose to hold behind this line? Why not defend the front wall here? Why not defend the front wall here and try and actually hold back the Allied assault? And this might seem like a given, but I don't think people think about this. But when you, as the defenders, are in front with at least 100 tickets almost here, really close to 100 tickets, you can afford to be kind of douchebaggy, and you can afford to kind of attack. And you see Besker's squad here with Old Boy and these guys. I even think Mark Chan is a squad. No, he's an engineer. I think it's Old Boy that's the squad lead over here, actually able to really lock down this flank. If we would have done the same thing on the left-hand flank, and this is one of the things here, I'm just going to speed up here so you can see the Allies pushing in. But one thing right here that, you know, that is kind of disappointing, these players right here on this flank, why wouldn't they actually push up to this area? Why just hold this not exposed flank, but pretty insignificant flank? I don't think ever this game has been won by somebody pushing over the open. I think most of the time people are going to come up of the trenches. And here you see an Allied push up the middle here. And now we see the Germans actually putting down artillery. And this is probably the only decent arty strike that comes in from the Germans. But you combining an arty strike with this, where you actually hold the middle. This is fine, holding the middle, but not taking advantage and overlapping the flanks. And I don't know why these decisions were made, but why concentrate all these guys on this flank here? Why not push them out and actually try and dominate the enemy? When again that you are ahead on a defensive map on the last point with 100 tickets, you know, you can afford to be kind of pushy and actually try and retake the front of the cap zone. That's for sure. Then again, you see here, you see Ivanka and these guys coming in and actually still able to push in. And still the Germans have control of this left-hand flank. This is not bad. This is not bad at all. But as you saw, the Allies probably dropped the artillery 2 minutes ago, and with the 3.5 minute cooldown on the arty, the Allies are gonna have artillery again here. And this is where again we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Germans just around this area here. Why? You know, when you have 6 guys so close together here, what is the purpose of this? When you know that the primary push is gonna come to the middle, why not have these guys close up to the front? You know that the Allies are gonna do this. And here comes again, you know, I don't think Whiskey Jack has dropped one bad artillery strike in this. So here you see the determined Allied push. So look at this, straight up the middle. And they actually smoke up the flank. And I don't know what happened here, but I think perhaps all the credit in the world to Stalker here. I actually think Stalker cleared out this right-hand flank, and the Germans weren't able to take it back. So you know, a lot of things have come into play here. Some unclear decisions by the German leadership that really, you know, in my eyes showed, you know, really lack of experience, but also, you know, really genius plays by the Allies. And And I think the German squad leaders did pretty well. You know, they did well. As I've seen, the German squad leaders have been spawning people in. But I'm just going to slow you down here so you can really get a good look. The Allies out of tickets. The Germans over 100, actually 120 tickets ahead of the Allies. And just look at this. The Allies are confined in an area 3 by 3 meters. And you see Melchett come up here. And I actually want to slow this down before this end. You see Melchett come up here, running forward. You know, rifle in hand. But look at this. Look at how many Allied players in here. You know, look at what would a hand grenade do in here. It would do massive damage. And why are the Germans overlapping the flanks here? We still have German players out here on the flank. You know, and I know that the Germans did their best and they really did well. They really well performed, but I really think this is such a beautiful example because the Allies managing to overplay the Germans on several occasions here, actually able to outplay them. And this is why I think this is such a good example. So guys, what lessons before the game ends here can we take away? Probably don't do the unexpected. You know, that's probably the lesson here. Do the unexpected. Look at this. We have the Russian team in its totality, almost. Perhaps except for Stalker. And, you know, we have the German team in it, Russian team in its totality, actually in the cap zone. And that's really amazing work here. They're able to power cap this so hardcore off the Allies that it's really well played. And no disrespect to the Allied players, they did really, so to the German players, they did really well. Some unwise decisions by leadership, but otherwise really well played. And this is such a good work. And the lessons, you know, do the unexpected and adjust. You saw them on the E point, sorry. You know, they can't get through on the right flank over here or the left flank attacking. So they switched the entire offensive to the right-hand side and I managed to push in. Really well played. So well played to everybody. And if you guys ever want to be a part of any of this, if you want to be a part of this king, you know, join up with the Bloodbath community. I know that they're running these kind of events, you know, again. So, you know, if you want to be part of any of this, you know, please, you know, join up with the Bloodbath guys and you probably could be able to get in on it. You know, and I really hope you enjoy this, you know. And again, my critiques here are not meant on anybody personal. It's just my observations of what's going on. You can agree with them, disagree. You know, please leave what you think down in the comments. What do you think happened here? What do you think? Do you agree, disagree with me? And I would sure like to hear what you guys are thinking. And if you played this game, were in this game, let me know what you think. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy this. And you know, I see you all in the next one. Bye bye.